Hello everyone, my name is Aboud Kadid and actually I'm an IELTS teacher and I have been teaching English for 10 years. I'm actually from Montreal, Canada, and I taught in Istanbul and I taught in Toronto and also I taught in Saudi Arabia. I have got the TESOL certificate with 220 hours and I received honors in that certificate. I got that from Toronto. Also, while I was teaching IELTS, I was an IELTS examiner. I got that on March 2012. And I marked task 1 IELTS, 1,000 tasks, and also I have examined personally 1,000 speaking. Now let's talk about the IELTS test. What is the IELTS test? The IELTS exam is the International English Language Testing System. And people, students normally, or anyone who would like to do the IELTS test, he's eligible. The IELTS test is broken into 2 parts. You have the academic part and basically the general part. For the academic part, if you would like to pursue your studies in your master's or PhD, then you need to do academic. Now the IELTS test is composed of 4 parts: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The listening and speaking is the same for both tests. The reading and writing are different. So let's have an idea about the general overview of the IELTS. So the IELTS test is made up of listening, reading, writing, speaking. The listening has 4 sections, 40 questions, and lasts for half an hour. The reading test has 3 sections and 40 questions and lasts for 60 minutes. And the writing part has 2 parts or 2 tasks, and you have to write either a report or to write a letter and to write an essay, and it lasts for 1 hour. The speaking part lasts between 11 and 14 minutes. So the total runtime for the exam, you're going to add, half an hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, and then 15 minutes. It's around approximately 2 hours and 45 minutes. Now, it's very important to know for the IELTS test, you must do all the parts. You must attempt all the parts. You need to do the listening, reading, writing on the same day. You can do all these things on the same day. But the speaking part, you can either do it before or after. So you have like a 1-week grace period. The student, before registering in the SA Institute, they need to actually do a test. It's called an entrance test. With this entrance test, the student will write a 250-word essay, and it's a chance for the institute and the teacher to know their level, of a grammar. Could they produce an English sentence? It is a complex sentence. Whether it is, are they able to produce commas, semicolons, complex compound sentences, their collocation level. So after the test is done, then we can determine, is the student, he or she, are they level 5, 6, 7? And then after that, we will, based on the test results, and also we will do a speaking test, okay? And the speaking test, by the way, will determine the student pronunciation, grammar, and also, lexical resource, vocabulary. Based on the writing and the speaking test, a band level is assigned to the student, and then we will determine how many hours. Just to give you an example, if a student gets a band of 6, then in order to improve from band 6 to 7, they will need 40 hours, okay? So just to give you a background what is the objective of the courses over here. The objective of the program in SA Institute, we develop programs, okay, assigned according to each band level and each student case, and then based on the the score, we determine how many hours the student needs. Now, let me give you an example. I have just mentioned about the reading and the writing example, but let's talk about the reading. Now, for the reading, the students need to be good in skimming and scanning. We will talk about the skimming and scanning, and we will assign some number of hours for the reading part for the IELTS test. Now, to talk about the listening part, the listening part is composed of monologues, right? As you know, when you are, like for example, in social, academic situations, conversations, seminars, lectures. As I mentioned before, the reading part also includes, in addition to skimming, scanning, synonyms, antonyms. A synonym is basically a word that has the same meaning. For example, significant is a synonym for important, essential, okay? An antonym is a word that has opposite meaning. Now, by the way, all the courses are presented gradually. The achievement of the student is gradual, okay? So if we talk about the writing part, I have mentioned this before at the beginning, but I would like now to go in more details about the writing part basically. The writing part involves, collocations, okay? Using phrasal verbs, okay? When you write an essay, is it an opinion essay? Is it a reason example? What kind of essay? Because in the IELTS test, you have 6 different kinds of essays. So this is all covered in the class. And we have an advantages, disadvantages essay. Now also, when we start the course, we also include what is a controlling idea. Because, a lot of the students, they can write an essay, but they have no clue what is the connection between a controlling idea and a topic sentence. Well, a topic sentence is made up of an idea, a topic and a controlling idea. When the student understands what is a controlling idea, then it will be easy to write an essay. Just to give you an example, okay, right now I'm giving a presentation about IELTS. So my topic is about the IELTS, or what is the IELTS. But the controlling idea is what are the strategies that we're going to be learning in the class for the student to achieve the 1 band score. So this is the controlling idea. Okay, basically the controlling idea is the main core focal point. Okay, now if we go also to the writing part, and if we go to task 1, remember I mentioned that the IELTS test is made up of 2 parts. We have actually we have 4 parts actually: listening, reading, writing, speaking. But also the IELTS test could be an academic one, and a general one. Now for the academic one, for the writing part especially, you have task 1, which is writing a report. So when you write a report, you have to be able to interpret, because you're going to be given bar charts, flow charts, a combination of pie charts, flow charts, and you need to be able to, and we recommend the students actually interpret such charts. Now for the second kind of exam, which is the general exam, the student in task 1 needs to produce a letter. So the letter, it could be a business letter. There are 3 kinds of letter. Well, you have basically a letter that you write to your friend, or a semi-official letter that, for example, you're living right now in a condo, and for some reason, you have leakage. Your apartment is leaking. So when your apartment is leaking, you're going to write a complaint letter, but you know the landlord. You have met him before. So it's like a semi-official. The official letter, so it's different. So basically all the syntax, the vocabulary, the collocation, the words, what you need to produce is different. Let me recap a little bit what I have talked about. I have talked about the IELTS test. The way the test is conducted, the first one is listening, reading, and writing. That's the sequence. And imagine if I were a student, and I'm doing listening, half an hour, reading 1 hour, and then writing 1 hour. I will be exhausted. Some students feel nervous after the writing part to do the speaking test because their brain is full of information. So that's why I just would like to, this is an advice from your teacher. Please try to do the speaking test either before the 3 parts or after. You have 1 week grace period. Because if you are stressed and if you do it right after the writing part, you may just blow up the speaking part. So you can do it 1 week before or after. So I hope this was a clear point. A student has a band of 6. The student, he or she, needs to improve to band 7. The student needs to improve by 1 band. What happens? The student will be given 10 hours listening, 10 hours speaking, 10 hours reading, and 10 hours writing. The 10 hours writing part, those are very essential and very crucial. Actually, I will be giving the student 10 essays. So the student needs to produce 10 essays. So, for example, if I ask you to write an opinion-based essay, and it shows up in IELTS. By the way, 60% of the IELTS tests are opinion-based essays. Agree or disagree? Well, if you don't produce we recommend that the student produce the essay. We give all the tools. Once the student present me or show me actually here or their product, their final essay, I'm going to mark it. I'm going to underline, if there are some things missing, like collocations, vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, semicolon, commas. I will be able to look at this. Then I'm going to give it back to the student, and he or she needs to rewrite the essay. So if the 10 essays are done, and also the 10 speaking tests are done in the class on one-to-one, the student will be able to know, he or she will be able to correct themselves. The listening and reading part are actually, we will do together extra, listening and reading session in the classroom, but also the student can do it by themselves, because the listening and reading could be done at home. The main focus normally for the student when they come to Essay Institute, especially the speaking and the writing part. Now, if the student has weakness in the listening and reading, we can do extra. I do have with me a set of live exams where we can do, like going back to 214, 215, we can do practice tests in the classroom. Okay, and of course, when the reading is done, I will show to the student where to concentrate on. Now, this is the last piece of basically a presentation, and it's basically about a slide from my speaking part. Now, students normally they would mention, I have done all my part. For example, who is a person in your family? Talk about someone in your family who you admire a lot. And you have a minute. During the minute, you're going to take some notes, and then after a minute, you're going to produce, right? So if, for example, I'm going to talk about a person who I admire in my family, okay, and I'm going to talk about him right now. So I'm going to go like, a person in my family who I admire the most is basically my aunt. She has been working all her life, and she has sacrificed for our family. When you hesitate in the speaking test, you lose half a band. That's hesitation. Okay, so you need when you're speaking, you need not to hesitate. If you hesitate, you need to use fillers. Let's go back and do it again. So I'm going to say, the person who I admire most in my family is my aunt, because she has worked all her life and she used to have 2 jobs to support the family. In addition, now in my mind I'm hesitating, so I'm going to say, in addition, or what I meant to say was, she was actually hard worker, she was honest, and she had to, so I have to use transitions, I have to use fillers. So all of this will be taught in the class, using transitions, fillers. And another big mistake, sometimes the student, they actually do when they're doing the test. For example, if I'm speaking right now about the vacation I've ever been to. 2 weeks ago I was in Quebec City, and guess what? I went with my family and we went to Montmorency Falls, and wow, what a wonderful vacation, My family enjoyed it, especially my wife. We went to a very nice restaurant, and my kids were playing with the water. And it was, guess what? It was a restaurant, and it was overflowing on the Montmorency Falls. And then I will go like, no, I'm confused now. I have nothing more to say. The moment the examiner, who's on the other side, hears the word, I have nothing more to say, you lose another half a band. So in the speaking test, if you hesitate, you lose half a band. If you tell the examiner, I have nothing more to say, you lose half a band. This is 1 band. So maybe you were supposed to get a 7, then you end up getting a 6. So we discuss this in the class. We talk about also grammar part. If you're speaking all the time and you're saying, what is your name? My name is Abood. All right. What is your favorite hobby? My favorite hobby is walking. You need to explain, you need to give reasons. I love walking because walking is a form of exercise, so I can lose some calories. You need to give examples, so you can, remember I said this first part is composed of 2 minutes. So the first part, it's a chance for the examiner to know you personally. What do you do, right? What is your job, right? Do you like your job? What are your hobbies? So you need to say, for example, during the weekends, I love to go out with my family, and my wife likes shopping. So I go out with her, and we do some shopping. I help her out. You give examples. You have to give explanation. For the grammar part, when you say because I, right? If all the time you're going to say, I love this because I, or repeat yourself, and you say, I love shopping because it's important. It's important. If you're using the same words, you need to use synonyms. It's important. It's essential. It's significant to get another job because you can improve your career. So using different vocabulary, using synonyms, producing different kinds of, complex compound sentences, using because, the transitions, For example, a synonym for therefore is thus, hence. All of this will be discussed in the classroom. So basically, this is about the course, and this is about the IELTS. I strongly emphasize, I do recommend, because, we as a teacher and SA Institute, we give the student all the tools he or she needs to succeed. It's very important that this is, this is a very positive environment. The students need to be positive when they come to the class, right? When the student comes positive to the class, the environment is positive. And also, basically, it's important for the student to do the homework. We recommend, actually. We are not, we are not here in the military. We are not here, like we're doing military push-ups, and sit-ups, and we are saying, we have to do this, you must do this. No, we recommend. So we give you everything, all the tools you need to do as a student, and it's up to you. You show me the assignments, you show me the homework, and I'm going to spend on my own time, I'm going to mark your assignments from my own time, and I'm going to give you, I'm going to underline, mark it, This was not a complex sentence. This is a compound sentence. Oh, there are no synonyms here. There are no antonyms. So I will give you basically the tools, okay, with the help, of course, together as a team. And it's very important in the classroom we have a team spirit. When we work as a team, miracles happen. So what I would like to say at the end, in conclusion, working as a team, being positive, doing the homework assigned. Again, recommendation, we recommend, we advise. Again, we advise our students to follow SA instructions, to follow the institute, to follow the teachers. Basically, there is a high chance that the student will achieve the band. And it happens, actually, they do achieve the band once the homework is done and once the advice, is being followed by the student. Any questions? I hope I was able to, this is not an entertainment, this is actually teaching IELTS, and IELTS also is about being dedicated, being positive, and following your SA Institute instructions. Thank you and have a great day. Take care.